one of the greatest decisions you can make in your life is what you're going to do with it. And obviously coming of age is that point where you're transitioning from being taken care of to taking care of yourself, and where you are beginning to become responsible for your own action. Then I finished school. I went to San Francisco, and everybody said, "Why are you going to San Francisco?" I said, "That's where I live." And so you can't possibly work in the film business living in San Francisco. And I said, well, I want to live where I want to live, and I will make films because I love to make films. Yeah, my first 6 years in the business was, hopeless. And there's a lot of times when you sit and you say, "Why am I doing this? I'll never make it. It's not going to happen." It's just, I should really go out and get a real job and try to survive. And because I borrowed money from my parents, I borrowed money from my friends, and there's no way to sort of get around that. And the secret is just not to give up hope. And it's very hard not to, because if you're really doing something worthwhile, I think you will be pushed to the brink of hopelessness before you come through the other side, and you just have to hang in through that. The person who was helping me, Francis Coppola, said, "Look, if you're going to make it in this business and you want to be a director, you're going to have to learn how to write. So you're going to have to write your own script, and you have to make it work." And I said, "But I don't like to write, and I want to get a writer to do this. I don't want to do it myself." He says, "No, you can't hire a writer. You have to do it yourself. And you have to write the screenplay." Writing was not my thing, and but I went through it. And then when I went to the next film, American Graffiti, I ended up writing it. And because I knew that's what I had to do. In order to direct, you have to write. And it's very helpful because the whole core of the idea of making a movie starts with the script and starts with the idea. And if you can do that, you are your own studio. Nobody can stop you, because all you need is a pencil and a tablet or a laptop or whatever, and you're on your way. And you can just create, and if you're really good at it, you come up with something that's you can sell or get somebody to put money behind. And then that allows you to actually make the movie, which is the part that I like. I like the editing and the actual making of the movie. And it took me 3-4 years to get from my first film to my second film, of banging on doors, trying to get people to give me a chance, writing, struggling with no money in the bank, working as an editor on the side, working as a cameraman on the side, getting little jobs, eking out a living, trying to stay alive, and pushing a script that nobody wanted. Finally managed to get that film made, which was American Graffiti, and then after that was a huge success. It was not as difficult anymore. I'll be able to do it. I can get a job somewhere. I know I can raise money somewhere. I know I can do what I want to do. And that was a very good feeling, because I know at that point I'd made it. There wasn't anything in my life that was going to stop me from making movies or having access to the medium of making movies. And it's very frustrating when you want to do something and you're blocked from doing it. When you're a beginning filmmaker, you're desperate to survive. The most important thing in the end is survival, and being able to get to your next picture. I ended up in a funny situation where I got the merchandising rights, which weren't anything at the time, because there was no such thing as merchandising on movies. Some TV stuff, but not movies. Their lifespan is just too short. But I figured I could make posters, I could make T-shirts, and I could publicize the movie, and hopefully people would go see it. And because the studio, everything is sort of a struggle again to survive, which is the studio won't put enough money into your movie to get it into the theaters, to do the advertising. So I will say, well, I don't have any money, but I can maybe make a T-shirt deal, and I can maybe make a poster deal, and I can maybe get these out at science fiction conventions and things before the movie comes out, and promote the movie. So I did it as sort of self-preservation. I'm a San Francisco filmmaker. I'm an independent filmmaker. I don't have a lot of resources, so I really have to think about how I'm going to get not only through this movie, but how I'm going to get it promoted, and how I'm going to then hopefully have it make enough money to allow me to get to do the next movie. When I got involved in film, I didn't know anything about film, and I just got involved, and I fell in love with it. I loved it, and I wanted to create stories and do things. And I never had any intention, really, of becoming successful or making money or doing anything. I wanted to make movies. So all my decisions were about making my movies, not becoming successful. I became successful primarily because I wanted to control the content of my movies, and I didn't want other people to tell me how to make movies or to have to sort of work very hard on somebody else's message. So everything I did really to gain control over my work. But as a result of that, my ideas about what constituted a good movie and the messages that I wanted to send out there and those sort of things became very popular, and as a result, I became very successful. But if I'd have gone down another road and just been a work for hire at a studio, I probably would never have been successful. You know, if I'd have just sold out. And there was points in my life where I was absolute broke, in debt, offered hundreds of thousands of dollars to work in Hollywood, and refused to do it. I think the only way you can deal with feelings of desperation, and I've had this quite a bit in my career actually. You simply have to put one foot in front of the other and keep going. You know, you put blinders on and just plow right ahead. You can't be affected by any of that. There's, you know, when the times are hard like that, you simply have to say, this is what I want to do. I want to make my movie. I don't want to take the money. And you just walk forward step by step and get through it somehow. And I got through, actually only took me about 3 weeks to write that script. And I just, every day would sit down at 8 o'clock in the morning and I'd write until about 8 o'clock at night. And I just said, I'm going to finish this, as painful as it is. And I'm going to ignore these phone calls of lure of riches and get through this. And somehow if you want to be successful in a particular field of endeavor, I think perseverance is one of the key qualities. You know, it's very important that you find something that you care about, that you have a deep passion for, because you're going to have to devote a lot of your life to it, and you're going to have to really be focused on it, and you really have to overcome a lot of hurdles. A lot of people saying you can't do it, you're going to have to take a lot of risks, and you have to find something you love enough to be able to take those risks, to be able to jump over the hurdles, to be able to break through the brick walls that are always going to be placed in front of you. If you don't have that kind of feeling for what it is you're doing, you'll stop at the first giant hurdle. So I think, and you'll never make it unless you persevere, unless you overcome a lot of very difficult obstacles. Well, I've run into hundreds and hundreds of obstacles. And you overcome them with just sheer persistence and belief in yourself. It's not much else to it. Life is fluid. You're always given opportunities and choices. Generally speaking, no decision is the worst decision, because you always have these decisions to make. And, you know, if you go with your heart and do what you think is right, generally it'll take you in the right place, because, as I say, then you'll be doing things that you love.